Big Herc916. Positivity and motivation. Never settle for average. Go pick you up some merch at BigHerc916.com. Got the hats, t-shirts, tank tops. And this video is brought to you by Muscle Up Detail Spray. The only detail spray I use on my cars. And I will be doing more car videos very soon as my Chevelle is done. I still got the Porsche and the Cougar, man. But yeah, man, I'm not sure when I'm going to drive those cars, man. Because this restoring cars, man, it's crazy, man. From selling crack to working at Chuck E. Cheese, man. Yeah, that's one of my stories, you know. Growing up, man, I didn't want to be I never had any interest in doing drugs, being involved in drugs. You know, I always stayed away as far as, you know, when kids smoked cigarettes or weed or talked about any type of pill or anything. I was scared to death. I never messed with that stuff. I tell you, man, I remember that commercial still to this day. This is your brain on drugs with the egg frying. And then I also grew up in a household around somebody I saw that was an alcoholic, and that affected me, man. It made me never want to have, never want to really have a drink or be at the mercy of alcohol, you know, where something can control you that much, where it just takes you out of your character. It was just horrible, man. It's horrible, you know. Rest in peace to that individual, you know, my heart. But, yeah, you know, so I never got involved in drugs or drank 40s. I never drank a full 40. I never even drank beer, man. It's just, I think beer is gross. I never drank it. Anyways, you know, I wanted to be a skateboarder. And, you know, I used to skateboard every day. Haven't did it in years. Need to get back out there. But I used to skateboard every day and ride bikes, you know, BMX, doing tricks, you know, in the street, you know, popping wheelies, bunny hop, tail whips, you know, around the world, all kind of tricks on my BMX bike. You know, I used to look at all the BMX books, freestyle magazines, Trans World, Thrasher. You know, I was a fanatic, man. BMX and skateboarding, that's all I did. I go back and forth. One time, you know, for a couple months, I'll be really on my bike, and then I go back to skateboard and try and decide which one I want to be a pro at. You know, didn't have any pros around me, but I was really just, my heart was in that, man. And I wish I could have stuck with it. But, you know, as life took a turn, some situations happened, and I got, you know, we moved, and I was in an environment where it wasn't really cool for the black guy to have on the Jimmy Z skate pants. I had a Jimmy Z skate pants with the zebra stripes with a what was it called? I had a skull hat. And, you know, I had on the, I would skate usually in the MJs. I had the MJs I skate in. I didn't really skate in, you know, Converse. They were too heavy. I didn't really skate in Vans. I skated in either Adidas or mainly, Jordans, you know. And, man, I used to be shredding, man. I used to be tearing up ollie wall rides, kick flips, you know, Japan, you know, on the launch ramp, Japan Air, Method Air, you know, you know, ollie kickflip air, you know, just all these little tricks. This is back in like the 80s, man, like 86, 87, you know, and that was like my passion. But you know, I felt like I was at a fork in the road, and that fork in the road was, do I continue skateboarding, or do I try to fit in and play basketball, football, and all that stuff? Do I try to get more involved in school sports and stuff, or do I, you know, really go after my passion and skateboard, you know? But it was a different crowd, you know. It wasn't a lot of black guys. It was me and maybe two other black guys in the whole hood that skateboarded. Everybody else was white, you know. All my partners, we go over, ride their little quarter pipe ramps, launch ramps, you know. And some of them had the you know, the crazy blonde hair back in the day. You know, that's Gonzalez. Christian Asoy was big back then. Caballero, Tommy Guerrero, Natus Coppice, Jesse Martinez, you know, these are Tony Magnuson, Tony Hawk. These are the guys we looked up to. And I got kind of pulled into more of the street stuff, man, because financially I couldn't maintain buying new decks all the time. Skateboarding, you bust a deck, you chip the tail, you got to get a new one. And, it gets expensive, man. And coming from a household where, OG grandpops, he worked hard for his money, he ain't gonna keep dishing out money. He felt like it was stupid, like it wasn't really worth the investment. So I kind of felt like, man, my dreams got shitted on. And so I kind of like gravitated more towards hoop and, basketball, even though I still played basketball when I skateboarded, but skateboarding was something I would skateboard session over a hoop game. And so I started playing more basketball and hanging out with more, of the people who were kind of like in just the hood scene, girls hanging out with these guys and they're selling drugs, this and that. So I got involved and I said, man, I want to be like one of those guys. If I'm hang out over here, besides playing sports, some guys just play sports. Not everybody wants to be a drug dealer, but I'm like, man, they seem like they're getting it. Let me go ahead and see if I can get it, man. I mean, and this is the furthest thing away from my family that I could even have entertained. Nobody in my family sold drugs, man. No, I mean, they were all, ex-military. Everybody worked, these were blue collar people. But I wanted more, I mean, I was a straight A student, so I felt, man, I'm smart enough to do this thing. But I didn't have nobody telling me how to weigh it out, how to do any of this. I just got a wild hair up my ass. Wasn't no YouTube videos and nobody really even talking about it back then. And, you heard, you knew somebody had a lot of money and you figured they did, you heard that they did something, but you never really seen them. And so, yeah, man, I made that choice, and, it was, it was crazy because I lived right up down the street. I used to skateboard, but right down the street, there was a park. In that park, everybody sold dope. All the OGs be out there drinking 40s. These dudes were probably in their, I was 14. They were probably in their 30s, man. Late 20s, early 30s. Some of them like, yeah, man, some of them been to the pen. Swole OGs, man. Some of them got, cornrows. Some of them got do-rags on, perms, wife beaters. These dudes, they got weights out there. They working out and then they bumping music, not doing nothing, just hanging out all day. And this park, man, this is like, this is when, people basically were broad daylight, just hanging out, drinking, selling dope. And so I said, man, I know if I get the dope, I can go over there and sell it. So once I got it, I went to that little spot, that little park down the street, which is conveniently down the street from my house. And, I'm babysitting my little brother and sister, but I shoot down there and sell some dope. Come back home, check on them, shoot back down there, sell some dope, come back and check on them. And, I had an interesting summer, man, going from a freshman to a sophomore. A lot of shit happened, got arrested twice within 4 months. And I was in juvenile hall at 15, man, with a crack case, and ended up doing roughly about 6 months between juvenile hall and boys ranch for that crack. So fast forward, mom gets married. We moved from Sac, North Highlands, to the suburbs, man, Orange County, Huntington Beach, surfing and skating. It's just like, man, it's totally different. Birkenstocks and Ugg boots. I ain't never seen nobody in Highlands wearing no Ugg boots, man. They wearing Ugg boots, Birkenstocks to school. You never wear, you would never wear Birkenstocks to school in the hood, man. You get your feet stomped out, somebody, get in a fight, you can't catch your footing. I mean, it's just all bad. You'd never come to school without having shoes on. But these kids didn't care, man. They were all talking about going to school and college and all this stuff, man. It was just a culture shock. I felt just like, man, a fish out of water. But my first job when I moved out there was working at Chuck E. Cheese. It was walking distance from my house, and I needed a job. I needed to make money. And it wasn't, I wasn't in the hood no more, and I knew I wasn't going to sell no crack in Huntington Beach. And it's like I'd already done that time, even though I still was like, damn, I felt like I didn't get all I got out the game. But I got that job at Chuck E. Cheese and used to walk to Chuck E. Cheese, man. I worked in the goddamn the game room. These little soccer moms that take their kids up there and they're, playing games for tickets and trying to steal tickets and jumping into dirty balls. I got to save them in the dirty balls. And, it was crazy, man. But that was my job, man. My first job where I got a paycheck. Chuck E. Cheese, man. And then when I got that check, man, I looked at it, man, and I was so disappointed, man. That shit, man. I didn't know the value of it back then. But, I'd work, man, and I'm looking at the check. I'm like, God damn. I used to make this in an hour, working in the hood. I'd make this in an hour. I know the homies is out there getting money still. I'm living in Huntington Beach, and I talk to them here and there back in Sac, man, and they still in the game. They buying cars and stuff, man. They doing their thing, and I'm like, damn, man, I feel like I'm missing out. So the whole time I was in Huntington, my goal was to get back to Sac. My dumb ass. I wanted to go right back to where I felt most comfortable, not really realizing the opportunities I was around because of my mind state. And that's why I always share with you guys these different stories, real talk, so maybe you could see some stuff, man, I didn't see. Because if I would have never went back to Sacramento, I would have never went to YA, and I probably would have never went to the federal pen. I probably would have, had my little degree and been doing my thing in OC, man, and would have never even entertained any more of the foolishness. But after I graduated, I went right back to Sacramento. But, the value in that job and that paycheck, it was humbling. And, sometimes at the end of the day, you can't have everything fast, man. You can't think that fast is going to win because, dude, the longevity of that is short. There's a lot of dudes in there I met in juvenile hall. Some of them good at basketball, probably could have got scholarships, but they were selling dope. They were getting money, buying Granadas back then and Caprice Classics and Impalas and Box Chevs and Regals and Cutlasses. Dudes are like, they were balling. They didn't care, man, but they were talented. These dudes, a lot of them have skills, man, athletic wise, but, didn't go to school. I was probably the smartest dude when I was in juvenile hall. Then I went to the boys' branch. I was probably the smartest dude in all my classes as a sophomore, and there was guys in there 2-3 years older than me, and they couldn't read or write. And like I said, man, you get caught up in that system, man, and it takes a while for you to unprogram yourself from that lifestyle. And so, I was still kind of programmed for that lifestyle, and it took years for me to finally work up out of that and be like, man, this ain't for me. Because I didn't really feel like I fit in over there either, but I was trying to get a benefit, which I thought was a benefit. It wasn't a benefit, making quick money. But it's a life lesson, man. And like I said, the value of that job at Chuck E. Cheese, wearing my little khakis with my little red polo shirt, man, up in there, digging them goddamn balls, dealing with these little baby kids running around there, who never would have to probably work a day in high school because in Huntington, man, didn't nobody have jobs. All those kids, all they did was go to school and party. They didn't have to work. I had to work. I didn't have that type of luxury, man. I had to work. Chuck E. Cheese, eventually got a job, at Sears, but yeah, man, it's like working for that check, man. It was crazy, man. It was a crazy experience as far as just seeing how time is valued. Where, over here, you're hustling and you got you make money, and you kick back and you got all the time. But what are you doing with that time? How are you trying to use that time to turn another corner to get, to get ahead, and then other people just caught up in the rat race, working for the hour. Everything's on an hourly basis. And, some people never get out of that. So, from selling crack to working at Chuck E. Cheese, man, I've seen a lot, and that was at a young age, man. But sometimes I reminisce about that and trip out about that experience because it was two extremes, And you guys out there working, man, it's much better to work than to put yourself at risk because, you make one mistake, that's a wrap. the police, man, they can make all the mistakes in the world. You make one, that's a wrap. So I want you guys to win out there. So man, work that job, man, and think long term. Big Herc916. Hello, I'm Big Herc916. Contact me for life coaching and motivational speaking. I'm Big Herc, and I have over a decade of experience in the prison system. Yeah, I've done a lot of time, made a lot of stupid mistakes, but that's why I'm here with you today, educating you on the Mastermind program by Fresh Out. See, they don't give you a manual when you go to jail on how to survive. They don't tell you how to go take a shower, where to sit at when you go to chow, what to do when you have mail call, how to handle your commissary. See, we cover that and a multitude of other topics that are very important, because if you do the wrong thing, you can get your damn wig split. We have over 100 million views as of date on our YouTube channel, but we've put and condensed all this knowledge into this Mastermind program so that you can provide your client with a winning chance. Do yourself a favor and your client a favor and sign them up for our program so they don't have to get their wig split and they can make it out alive.